for Life Radio. We are back at you. This is your host, one of your hosts, Gary. I'm here with Big Willie.
Yeah.
And Big Benji.
Hey.
Big Willie. Big Benji.
Benji and Will.
Big Ben.
So we're back. We are.
And
How you guys doing?
From outer space.
Pretty good.
I'm good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I had like one of those days where I didn't feel like working out, but I did it. But I did it anyways, and it was all right. It's just one of those punch the clock workouts.
That's quite convenient.
Is it, you say?
Yes. Because today, what we want to talk about is, as perusing through our client check-in forms, a common struggle for a lot of people is, and we've talked about this before, the motivation to work out.
Motivation.
And I think the biggest issue is that people think they're going to eventually be motivated to work out every single time. And when it comes to being fit for life, that is not going to happen. So the sooner you realize that, the more likely you are to really like actually dive into this and just kind of be consistent with your workouts and not have that huge expectation that you're going to be this like super excited
Workout machine.
Yep. You know?
Yeah.
And it has to be like a habit, and you know, in the beginning it can be a little more exciting because it's new, right? Like we've talked about before, just like dating someone. But then eventually you get, you know, those endorphins aren't going to be
You got to settle in for the long run.
firing off all the time.
Yep.
Ben,
Yeah.
you got any you want to tell us?
I was gonna say, man. I remember y'all telling me that working out at Coastal, and I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life, tried a lot of things, worked in a lot of different arenas. I loved working out. I loved the challenge it brought, and like testing your capabilities or trying to get better at one specific lift or doing any of those things. I remember you saying, you know what, man, I've been doing this for 10 years. You're going to hit a point and you're going to be like, I don't really want to do this today. And I didn't believe it. I thought to myself, you know, if anybody's going to just love what they do, no matter what, I can do this. But no, it happens. It happens to everybody. You're doing the same workouts, you're chasing the same goal. Or you're just on maintenance. At some point, you're going to get up and you're going to have to put all this effort and energy into your workout, and you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
Would
you do it?
One thing that a lot of people try to do, and actually I'm in a group with a bunch of other gym owners, and one guy posted recently how he's just not motivated to work out, and you know his gym's like a weight loss gym, and he loves it and he's excited, but his own workouts he's just not motivated, and he's tried. He'll talk about how he went and tried to do BJJ and Krav Maga. How do you say that? What is it?
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga and
What is Krav
just different
Maga?
types of. It's like some kind of like grappling, fighting,
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
kickboxing,
jiu-jitsu?
It's
Okay.
more like they call it like more realistic, like
Oh,
grappling type stuff. I think.
like you're out in the street and you're going to grapple?
I guess. Yeah. Street grappling.
Street grappling, yeah. Okay.
AKA fighting, AKA Newport News.
Tussling.
But,
Okay, World Star.
But what he didn't realize was, and I pointed out because you know we see this a lot, is it's like the Band-Aid, right? Like a lot of people then will want to go try a different workout, and you get excited again in the beginning, but then the same thing's going to happen, right? It eventually runs its course. It's not as exciting, and then what happens? Then you got to go find something else, and then something else, and then you actually never really master or get anything because you're always hopping around, and you're never going to find that super consistency either because it's not in really the specific thing you're doing. You ultimately have to find almost like a meditative state, you know, and just it's the process, right? So,
Absolutely.
you know, I mean, it's good to be motivated at times, like motivated to get you started, but you have to understand.
But relying on that, like you're not gonna always have that motivation. If you know, like it just doesn't happen. Like some days you wake up and you're not motivated to go to work. But you know what? You have to make money, so you go to work. Same thing. You know, like and even if you have a job you love, I mean, like there's still days where you're like, man, I'd rather stay home. But you go to work because you need to.
And as far as a question of motivation, like, you know, I guess I don't like brushing my teeth necessarily. Like, I'm not super motivated to actually like hit those.
Yeah, it's not a very like
hit those teeth with those
enjoyable
bristles.
thing.
Yeah, but I like having teeth. I'm motivated to keep my teeth, and if this is how you accomplish that,
Boom.
all of a sudden you can find some
Well,
motivation
it's-
with the right mindset.
It's like the purpose, right? You have to have some kind of purpose. Like, so for example, the dude who is in your group that's coaching, but like can't find the motivation to work out himself. Like, well, you have a greater purpose to help people, but if you're not helping yourself, like you can't help them effectively. And so and knowing you have to be an example, like all of us, like we have to be good examples for everybody. That's our responsibility, regardless if I feel like doing it on a given day. You know, I have a responsibility to myself and to people who pay me money to be good at this. And so, you know, that's a greater purpose than enjoying the workout in the moment, you know, and then the results that come along with it in the long game, feeling better every day and whatever else it brings to you, like that's worth it, rather than does it check this like, you know, serotonin box or whatever it is, you know, that makes you feel good in the moment, like, oh man, that workout was great, or I'm so motivated to go. You're not going to have that with anything. It's like food, you know, eating beef and rice every day, or, you know, for dinner every day isn't the most like, you
exciting,
know,
entertaining
thing in the world.
Yeah, it's when people look for like they're looking for entertainment in their food every single meal.
Yeah, it's
or
the
in
same
their
thing
workout
with
every single
working out.
workout.
Like,
yeah.
you're gonna have a lot of vanilla ass workouts in your life if you commit to it long term, and that's fine. It's the greater thing that we're shooting for that's really like what should give you that happiness or joy, knowing you're working towards that.
Yeah. And the solution really is, I mean, creating a habit, right? So if someone's listening, they're like, well, I know I need to work out, and if I'm not going to be motivated, like what gets me there, right? And it's just the science of creating a habit, which is having a trigger, which is, for me, like most of my stuff, anything I do is triggered by time, right? Which is normal for most people, right? Like, you know, so, you know, it's bedtime, 9 o'clock hits, you know, you go floss and brush your teeth, right? Like that's the trigger. Same thing for my workouts, you know, 10 o'clock hits, it doesn't matter what, if I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to work out, or I'm doing this or doing that, it's time to get up and go to the gym, you know? Yep. So, and that takes practice and time too. Like you have to create that by forcing it a little in the beginning, but then once it happens, then it's easy. That's how you don't even have to think about it. So really working it into your day is one of those time triggers, or maybe the trigger for you is you put your gym bag in your car seat, right? Yep. So maybe the night before you load up your gym bag, go put it in your car. That's kind of starts that like habit building process. That's a trigger. So you just have to, that's what's great about like going to a gym with class times, right? Kind of like a Coastal is typically, if you know, oh, I go to the 4 p.m. or 4:30 class, then that's your trigger, right? Yep. So
like get off at work at 4 o'clock, gym starts at 4:30. Yep. And you know that's when you're going to be there.
And actually, I think that is a huge reason why like group style, class style gyms work better for most people than, oh, I have a gym membership, right? Where it's just like, oh, you go when like there's no specific time to be there, right? Then that's just too open-ended for most people.
Well, the accountability of like almost an appointment for people, right?
Yep.
Like I go to the 4:30 class, or I'm signing for that class or whatever. In their brain, it's like they have an obligation now, rather than, you know what, I can go to this gym 24 hours a day. I'll go later, or I'll go tomorrow, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just so much easier to do that when you don't have that, you know, obligation looming in your brain. That actually is very helpful. So that is a big part of it. Do something that helps you to keep the habit alive. And she hates when I talk about her, but whatever. But before Whitney goes to bed, she gets all of her gym clothes out, puts them out, and they're ready to go. She puts them in her bag, And so even on the days where she's like, you know what, I could go home. Now she's probably going to come to the gym because she already has her stuff. She might as well, even if you're not feeling it, just come in and do something.
Yep.
So find a trigger like that. That's a simple one. If you have gym clothes, you're a lot more likely to show up.
Yeah. And I think that's another problem you kind of mentioned. I was just thinking about this is, we're trainers, and, my wife, Alexis, is really fit and works out all the time too. And I think when people see people who have established that habit, they think, oh, like, that's a gym rat, that's a gym person. Like, they must be really excited, right? But
They must love going to the gym every day. You must work out all day.
But it's the exact opposite, Like,
Yeah.
my wife, she works out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and, like, refuses to go other days because she just wants to come home from school and read. And so the other day she goes, she really wants to just come home and read too, but it's her trigger on those days. Like, I come home, get my gym clothes, go to the gym, work out at this time, and that's how it is. It's not like this, like, super excited, motivated thing to do. It's like this is basically my habit because I want the outcome of being fit, feeling healthy, being a good weight, feeling confident. So it's really just setting that up for yourself. Yep.
And then realize, like, and something I think that, like, the Instagram fitness type community has kind of, like, misled people into thinking that, like, you're pumped up for all your workouts and whatever. When in reality, man, like, we have a good percentage of days, and I'm not saying it's the majority, but like today for me, I did a lot this morning, wasn't really feeling it. I was a little achy, everything was kind of tight, whatever. I did a lot of driving this morning, and I just did not feel like training today, period. And I kicked it back and forth, like I don't know if I should, and then, like, there's that overwhelming thing inside of me that's like, just do it.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
Like, you needed to do it. It's your day to work out. Get it done, even if you suck. And I did it, and actually, like, it was a good day of training. I feel way better now, and sometimes that's the case. And sometimes we have days where, we're ready to go. Like, I have some Mondays where I'm like, let's fucking do it. Let's try. Like, I'm ready to train hard. And then some Mondays where I'm like, holy shit, how am I going to get to the gym in the morning? But you just do it, So for anyone who thinks that because, like, we coach, we're superheroes and we're always pumped to be here and we love to work out every single day, it couldn't be farther from the truth. We have our days just like you guys do, but it's just setting that habit to come in. That's the key.
Yeah, and then auto-regulating once you're there, right?
Yeah.
If you have one of those, even with those days where you had crappy sleep and you're like, man, I probably shouldn't even work out today. I found, like, it's better just to go and keep the habit going, and then
and move.
Just take it easy. Don't do as much work. Like, do lighter weight.
Yeah.
That's why we tell people, like, when you guys, this is for people at the gym, like, when people come in and they're like, man, today sucks so bad. I didn't get any sleep last night. I'm so stressed and I'm tired and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're not, giving you a way out when we tell you to just kind of cool it but do your work. I would rather you come in, like you said, Gary, like get some movement in, man. Do a little bit of work, move your body around, get some blood flowing, and to keep the habit. That's more important than anything. Like we've had people that are, injured in some way, but I would rather them come in and, they can't do any real lower body, but come in and ride the bike. Just make that like you're still doing something for your body, your movement practice weekly. So yeah, like just that's the most important thing, and over time that consistency is going to allow you to keep making results despite those days where you weren't feeling it.
Yeah, definitely. And ultimately, you're like, the stronger you get, you're gonna have to auto-regulate anyways.
Yeah.
Like not every workout's gonna be able to be a personal best. So and that's where, like we talked about this before in one of our older episodes on supplements. That's where supplements become a problem too, like those pre-workout supplements, because they give you a false sense of
where your body's at.
So
Yeah.
you every workout you could feel like I feel great and amazing, but you're actually pushing beyond kind of your capabilities, and then that can lead to injuries and overreaching. And
like your
things
body
like
was
that.
down regulated for probably a good reason.
Yep.
You're over fatigued and tired, and your body's just not quite working as well. Like you're gonna slow down. But if you take that pre-workout and you're freaking hyped up and you're like, then the chance for injury is higher. So yeah, and listening to your body's a big one. And I think all of it, if anybody wants to think about it this way, pretty much anything is going to be like a bell curve. Like you'll have really, really crappy days sometimes. You'll have, mostly average days in the middle, and then a couple of really, really hype, good, motivated days. And that's really how most things are. You go to work, some days are good, some days or most days are average good, some days are crappy, and then some days you're like, holy shit, that's the best day at work I've had in like a month. Mm-hmm. And it's cool, like that's fine, that's how life is, and just being okay with that is hard for some people. Mm-hmm. And the expectation too, like if you expect every workout to be a banger and to hit a PR and to be like the most hype guy in the room, like then you're just setting yourself up to be really, really let down by the reality of it.
Then all of a sudden working out becomes not fun, because then you're like, oh, I had a bad workout, whatever that means.
Yeah. And you know what, man? Good example.
Yeah.
We had him on the podcast, Brian Daniels. His mindset had shifted from being super hype and then being let down when when his performance didn't live up to the hype, to being satisfied with the best he could do that day. And that's really a hard mindset shift if you're stuck in that, like, every workout should be, the hardest thing ever. But like, proof in the pudding, the dude comes in, puts in work, happy with the day, and he's making progress because of it.
Yep. And here's I think is a great example, right, for most people. Obviously, this is separate from athletes and sports and people that compete, but we're doing this workout thing, and ultimately, say when you're older, you have grandkids or your kids now, and really you just want to say 10 years from now, 15 years from now, like you want to be able to play with them, right, and move, and like they're never going to care what your PRs in the gym were.
Nobody gives a shit how much you deadlifted if you can't play with your kids.
So I just never understood when people stress themselves out so much about their workouts, and I'm like, in 10 years, like, is it going to matter at all, like what you lifted, like, or will it just matter more that you're consistent and you're healthier and you're able to actually play with your kids or go places and not hurt to stand up and things like that, right?
And being able to set a positive example for a kid, like that, you should move through the week and be active, and that's just should be part of your life. And then that's setting a good example for them. They're going to follow the same thing, and you're going to be able to be active together and have fun and do things and go outside and throw the frisbee and hike and all this other stuff. Whereas, and actually I was talking to somebody about this, about, 1 rep maxes and like they're cool and all, but if you blow out a disc hitting like a 600-pound deadlift, then wow, that's real cool. You're going to be proud of that, right?
You can't deadlift a hundo.
Yeah, and then you can't move. Like, are you really going to be even happy with that? Like, I got 600, but I can't touch my toes anymore and I can't get out of bed. is that even,
Yeah.
is that worth it? And for some people it might be, but for most people, like, why does that even matter? Nobody gives a shit that you could deadlift 600 pounds.
Yeah. It really matters.
you can't move.
Your situation. You ever talk to like the old gym guy like in his 50s, and he's like, yeah, and he can't raise his arm because he's like, yeah, I blew out my pec when I was 32 bench pressing 600 pounds, and you're like, oh, that doesn't sound worth it. But at least like if you were like, hey, like, yeah, I blew out my pec when I was trying to tackle Walter Payton in the 1985 Super Bowl. You're like, that's an awesome story.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool,
exactly.
yeah.
Like, that's yeah.
So it's like, no, like, be honest.
It's all specific to the situation. And if you're like a world-class power lifter, that's what you do, fucking awesome, man. Do your thing. But if you're an average person that just wants to get fit, there's no reason to stress that.
I feel like that list is actually pretty numerous. I blew out my shoulder trying to tackle Walter Payton.
Yeah,
I feel
trying.
like I feel
Trying to
like
tackle Walter
I feel like
Payton.
you just touched like a few people, with that statement. Like, oh yeah, that's me.
Like how many people actually touched Walter Payton? Like
Yeah.
he was hard to tackle.
Oh, that's exactly like
He was
that.
slimy,
list
man.
is
The guy
like,
was squirrely.
Boom.
But,
He hit you.
so yeah, so and really what we're trying to say with that is, as we get some laughs, is at the expense of people's torn pecs, is just be like, don't put so much pressure on yourself, because that makes it harder. Like if you're motivated to always, you have to get in and grind and push more, and like that's not going to last, and leads to issues that are going to take away from your possible consistency and ability to do this for life. So, just make it a habit. Enjoy. Really, I mean, I think the great thing is get your entertainment and excitement from the social aspect, right? Like it's kind of poo-pooed on. People talk about, oh, don't go to the gym to talk and do all this. I'm like, really? Like that's the main reason. I like to go to the gym to talk to people and see people, and when people go to Coastal, it's half the fun is seeing your friends and joking around, right? Like that's
exactly
the entertainment. And nowadays, most people, don't even have to leave their house for groceries. So more and more, we need a reason to like interact with people and have an environment like that, right? And that's what the gym can be, Like for as far as I know, there's no virtual reality weightlifting that works yet. Right. So to me, like the cool thing about the gym and fitness is that they are social, and they're not, and that's not gonna change for now. So
you can't beat the real thing.
Yeah. So that should be like what's motivating is look for that. Like I'm pretty sure the only reason anyone gets up and goes to 4:30 a.m. is because they get to see smiling Ben.
I don't know if Ben smiles that early. I think there's a switch that clicks around 5:45.
They just play a joke. It's just like a big joke for them. They just come in like, is Ben gonna show up? Yup, he's still here. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Yeah, this is still going. This is hilarious. No, that's. I mean, you can't tell me that those. Actually, you can't tell me because I see them every morning. They're not all happy to be here. No. They cycle through just as much as anybody. Where, today, all right, yep, I'm here to take on my week. I'm here to do this. And other times, like, do get out of my face. Like, do not talk to me right now. It is early as hell. But they're there. They're getting the work done. I think at 4:30, it actually kind of helps because you can't really check in with your feelings that early. Yep. You can't decide, do I feel like going today? The alarm goes off, and you're just like in a panic because it's the middle of the night. And you get up and you do what you're supposed to do. Because, you set what you wanted beforehand. You said, I want to achieve this. Yeah, my goal is I want to look better, I want to feel better, I want to move better. And then in order to do that, this is when the alarm goes off. There's really no more checking in with feelings necessary or decide, like having to redecide or rebattle with yourself if you want to or not, because you've already decided what you want to do. So you just do it. You just get up and you do the thing that you decided to do. And even better, if you're happy with your decision, if you're happy that you are making a choice to feel better about yourself, you're actually going to end up a little bit more likely to be happy to be there at 4:30. Not because you feel good; it's still the middle of the night, but you're you're happy with the long-term choice you made to invest in yourself. So
Yeah, those people at 4:30, man, they got the habit down.
they do.
Like
It's
that.
consistent.
I mean, and really, like, we'll even say, like, because 4:30 is early, so it's even harder to get up then. But, dude, like, how many people at the gym are so consistent? They come at the same time. They make it in here. Despite the crappy days and whatever, dude, people come in and they do what they can, and it's cool. It's cool to see.
So yeah, so if you're one of those people listening and maybe you're struggling to get started, or you struggle to kind of stick with it, and you're expecting like this motivation to kick in, and like some like light switch to turn on eventually to where you just love working out all the time, like don't give yourself that expectation. You know, like give yourself some slack, and then just, you know, work on ways to make it more of a habit, and you know, be consistent.
Yeah. You're building your house on the sand if you put it on that type of motivation.
Damn.
It's not. That's I could see Ben living in a little hut on the sand.
So you got to build it on the rock. You got to build it on the rock, and the rock is this is what I want, and this is why I'm happy. Yeah.
Foundation. All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up. Little rant for everyone.
Just a
Motivation
little bit.
rant again. It's funny, y'all. There's themes because it's the same things that people run into. You know, like
Yep.
Month after month, year after year, when I talk with people who are trying to get started, it's pretty common, the same stuff over and over. So, you know, for us, we just like to drill it in, and a lot of times we're just reminding ourselves, you know. So we need the constant reminders too. But yeah, if you have any feedback, let us know. Or if you are one of those very rare freaks who just wakes up excited to do everything all the time, then you know what? Don't send us anything. We don't want to hear from you. Nope. All right. And if you have any feedback, hit us up on our Instagrams or Facebook. And if you want no response, remember, contact Ben first.
Yep. My number is. I'll look at it.
And he'll look at it and he'll contemplate. He'll decide if he wants to.
He'll sleep on it for a day.
I'll put it out to the universe. Maybe it gets back to you.
He'll wait for his motivation to respond. All right.
That check's never coming.
All right, guys. We'll catch you. Signing
night.
off.
Later. As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.